Hey guys, how's it going? Eddie Rockensock here, bringing you your Wilson County update. So, 2025, gone and went. So, what I thought I would do this month is give us, what I usually do is give you year over year, right? What happened last year at this time and what's happening now and kind of what that tells us. So I figured for this one, since we got 2025 to recap, let's do a year to date. So we're going to do the end, all of 2024 versus all of 2025, which I thought was a little bit interesting as I, reminisce about the year and look back at it. It's been a tough year in real estate. Interest rates high, tariffs, uncertainty about money. It's been very interesting, but some of the data says it's a little bit different. So closed for 2024, 2773. Closed for 2025, 3,059. So we had a little bit more closings, which I thought was interesting. $233 a square foot average in 2024, $233 a square foot average in 2025. So tells us we have plateaued as far as values, right? Value in December of 2024 was the same as value December 2025. Now, this is the part that I thought was a little bit interesting in what houses are selling or where they're selling, right? Median price point in 2024 was $457,000. Median price point was $480,000 in 2025. Average sales price went up $26,000 compared to 2024. So when we know our prices are staying about the same, but our median has gone up and our average price point's gone up, tells us that it's a different house that's being sold. And here's the thing that I thought was probably the most interested. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to October, November market reveals, but the price points for the end of the year were really low. Average was in the 450, but I think I'm having to remember this, right? I think in November we had 217 closed in Wilson County. 190 of them was under 450,000. So the vast majority under that. We had a couple of the higher end that brought our average way up. Well, in 2024, we had 114 properties that sold over 1 million in Wilson County. In 2025, we had 188 properties that closed over $1 million. So almost a 60% increases in closed properties over $1 million. And we had one at 5.5 million this year. So very interesting when we look at the stats of 2024 versus 2025. Now, what does that mean? Where are we going? I went to the Tennessee Association of Realtors conference in October, and they said year to date, 70% of all realtors in the state of Tennessee has not closed one deal this year. Kind of blew my mind on, where transactions are coming from, who's doing them, all of that stuff, and how many realtors, maybe got in when the times were good and just not producing now. It just shocked me, right? So a lot of realtors out there potentially struggling, not doing many deals, but with all of the heartache, the trouble that we kind of went through this past year, or what it felt like we were going through, what does 2026 look like? Well, a lot of the economists are saying, interest rates are going to continue to be pushed down. A lot of them are projecting another rate drop here soon, middle of January. We've heard as much as, 50 basis points off of that Fed rate, right? Not directly tied to the mortgage rate, but will put pressure on mortgage rates to come down, or should. I've heard a couple of people projecting we might get to the low fives in interest rate. I'm not sure if we'll get that low, but I do know over these last couple of years, we've had a lot of people that are sitting on the fence, not sure what to do with all the uncertainty. So if rates do start dropping, I think we're going to see that buyer's market turn more back into the seller's market. CoreLogic released something, gosh, this is probably 6 or 8 months ago now, that said for every 0.5 percentage point the interest rates go down, it will release about 1 million buyers into the market, with 46% of all the closings in the United States happening in the South. I imagine that we'll get a fair share of that, right? If we're releasing a lot of buyers into the market, it's going to increase demand, right? We could see it turning a little bit more into a seller's market, this spring, right? So if you've been holding off buying, you probably want to get off the fence soon and start looking. If you have been thinking about selling, I think this spring, early spring, will be a great time for us to really hit some of that demand. So if you have any questions about all of this, of course, just let me know.